Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Iyori Folarin, and I have my guest this morning. We've got Malam Ahmed Moyozore Jaji, politician and political affairs analyst, and Chief Dr. Fasi Yusuf, lawyer and communications consultant. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
My pleasure.
Indeed.
It seems you're excited this morning.
Well, it's great to wake up, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. That's enough. That's enough to be excited about.
The new month.
And then there is a new month. And is there something of a new spring in the metaphoric step of the ruling party? It looks like, things seem to be in a positive kind of a flux right at the moment. The latest examples of that would be the meeting of yesterday, and the sole purpose of the meeting was just to pass a vote of confidence in the president. Matters were, in the conversations were had from news reports, and the party seems to be sort of mortified and in a mood to proceed apace with whatever is going on. Now, if any of this is the way you also see it, what do you think is responsible for this sort of a spring in the step of the party? Let me start with you, Fasi.
Well, I think fundamentally, 2019 is around the corner. And the president, whatever it is waking up from his lethargic disposition. And you can see that from Monday, when he was able to meet with the political engineer, Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Senate President, the Speaker, and the rest of them. And again, as expected, because the Vice President said that much last week, that we should expect that action will be taken on Lawal, the SYL, SGF, and okay, is it okay or okay?
The ambassador.
Yes, and between Monday and Wednesday, I hope and I'd wished that the country would have been on that tempo the last 2.5 years.
From the beginning.
But from Monday now, we hope it will be sustainable and it will be sustained.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I cannot imagine the president doing so much between Monday and today. And it's all go worse for democracy.
Okay.
So we can say that it's rather late than never. But I know that it's towards 2019.
Okay, then. Well, Moya, that which Fasi calls a lethargic approach, I think they have referred to as considered approach, and they haven't apologized, as a matter of fact, for it. So it's like different strokes for different folks. There will be different people and different methodologies. However, a lot of people see it from Fasi's point of view, but then they have said that it's just the classic considered approach that the buck stops on his table, and that's the president's style. But the reapproachment, it would appear, that seems to be discernible between, shall we say, powerful blocks within the APC, and all of it being resolved now amicably. We're getting statements that are all positive all around. Efforts are on to squelch any kind of annoyance, as people say, the handshake, going beyond the wrist to the elbow. All of that is going on. A lot of work has been going on behind the scenes.
Yes. You see, it all boils down to one fact. That is service delivery to an average Nigerian on the roads, on the streets. Because
which is what yesterday's meeting was all about, according to reports, that it included to remind themselves.
This is a party that, came into being less than 5 years ago. And out of realization that if all these disparate, smaller parties, relatively speaking, should go against the PDP as at then, they wouldn't have been able to achieve anything. And PDP's boastful position that they will rule Nigeria for 60 years will have, nobody will have been able to challenge it. And by and large, we have a coat of many colors now in the APC, which manifested immediately after the presidential election. And as a politician, very, very active. I know that when something like that happens, you sit down, you consider all the disparate groupings within the whatever. And this thing happened, and maybe the statement the president made during his inauguration that I belong to nobody but to everybody gave room for something. But our sitting this morning is not to dissect that one because it's past.
Because if we want to paraphrase all of that, people felt that the, shall we say, how does one express it, the spoils of victory just did not go where you would expect them to go. In fact, people who weren't active participants seem to have come up better than actual foot soldiers. That was that was largely the grouse. Legitimate grouse. And well, it appears this is now set to be addressed. By all
the Bible says, to whom much is given,
indeed,
much is expected. For God's sake, as a politician, I should not be apologetic for expecting to be patronized, having worked seriously and assiduously to the attainment of a particular goal.
Okay.
Now you now get there, it's another story altogether. I mean, it's very, very human that one should be disappointed. But if steps are not being taken,
it could actually rock or destabilize an organization. That was what was being indicated.
There is no way you have disgruntled elements in quotes, justifiably so. So what is the steps now being taken are in the right direction.
And you endorse 100%. Now, Fassi, coming back to you, you see, this, it seems to me, is one of those axiomatic kind of situations where you now have this contest between, maybe, for example, if we were to just guess that the president, we know his disposition, I would say he wants lean government, he wants efficiency, he wants, anti-corruption and all of that. Now, that's one beautiful ideal. But the political reality is that you're going to have to put a bit more fat on that lean meat bone for this whole arm to be able to move effectively.
And that was what he said yesterday. That was the statement coming up from the office of the president. That,
we are now able to add a bit more fat.
We're going to have a fatter government. We're going to have more appointments. We're going to have a rejigging of the Federal Executive Council. The boards that have not been constituted will be constituted. More appointments will be made. And as I said, it all towards 2019. And honestly, we've not been told the whole truth. And in communication, once there's a distortion in the channel, you allow all manners of things to come in that will distort the information, and the people will give room to speculation, give room to people making up their minds as to what they want to believe, and what we call selective perception. You see, what is happening now? For example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out of the meeting. You could see his countenance, his body language. He didn't tell us anything, what happened there and all the rest, and he was not ready to say anything. So the Senate President and other chiefs of the National Assembly came out, they didn't say anything. So,
well, they didn't. Apart from, take for example the first person you mentioned, all he just said was that there was a lot of fake news going on, floating all over the place, on the one hand, and that there was no such...
So, okay, can we know...
recently you've heard that Saraki...
Can we know the real news?
Saraki, on behalf of the National Assembly, has said that, look, between the legislators and the executives, we're going to work together to the benefit of the nation.
We've heard that before. We have heard that before. And we'll continue to hear that. Listen, if fake news is circulating, can we have the real news? So in the absence of the real news, and you have fake news, I mean, you take the fake news because there's no alternative. There's no alternative. As a communicator, there's no alternative.
Yeah, but the person involved is like from the horse's mouth.
No.
Look.
Excuse me. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that I know very well, is a master strategist. He has not spoken for a while. I can read his mind, the seriousness he displayed, and telling us that I guess he went there to tell him the home truth. That's not the way to run an administration. Do work for you. And we have nothing to show for it. I cannot go back to these people and tell them, work for me again.
Sure. Well. Again,
So
you know,
maybe that will be another fake news tomorrow.
well, that.
But
Well, what does that? This is speculative.
Chief
All
Fassi
we can
is
say,
conjecture.
yeah, well, it's conjecture, it's speculative.
If it's conjectural,
because they met behind closed doors.
I've not seen any
But
alternative.
we have to read into situations, right?
Yes.
And maybe in so doing, the actual truth will come out. But importantly, perhaps.
Excuse me, you know too well in our industry. No news is news.
No news in itself
It's
is news. People have been wanting to hear from Bola Tinubu for a long time. And this reticence,
alone to
watch. I'm speaking to you now. I'm speaking to you now.
Chief Fassi is
I'm speaking to you. I'm speaking to you now. You see, you were concentrating on that so much, you didn't even realize when I turned to you. But as he has indicated, there was this reticence, whereupon all sorts of conjecture went up and down the land as to how badly bruised, he was. And now he's coming back and he's in the public eye and he's saying, look, my friends, you don't know what's going on. Indeed, we don't. And we can't expect to, but a lot of stuff went down behind those closed doors.
Yes. You see, what is at stake now is that it's either you do it the way it should be done, or we all go down the drain. And I'm sure that it's true. That must
Who are those?
Who? Well, this is your conjecture.
Conjecture, yes.
Yes, this is your conjecture.
We were not there.
Yeah, this is your
as
conjecture.
a practicing politician, and who says it as he sees it. This is a party that was given a mandate of a tenure of 4 years. This is 2 years into the administration. Some people are claiming that the administration has not done anything. And some people are claiming that, yes, this administration has done fantastically well. It depends on the side of the divide to which you belong. To some of us, the administration is doing very, very fantastically well. Because we have intrinsic and extrinsic.
Yes, those points were discussed at the meetings.
Good.
Like they reminded themselves that because there's a lot of noise out there from the point of view of APC.
Please,
there's a lot of noise.
Let me.
But I want you to sort of, make it
because
up.
this thing, we should not be apologetic about it. We work for something to achieve a goal. The goal has been achieved, and you are now telling me to sit at the back and be watching you, and things are not going the way they should go. So now 2019 is coming. People can ask Bola Tinubu, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, that the man you sold to us in 2013 or 2014, what has he done for us? Okay, and you yourself, what have you gotten out of it? So if they should sit down and discuss the nitty-gritty of what is going on. 2019 is around the corner, as Chief put it. Yes, as politicians, we are planning seriously for 2019 because we want.
So you don't consider it as a sort of a bloatedness?
It is necessary. The discussion going on now, very, very necessary.
So all this discussion about a conversation about is not business as before and all of that. We've got to change ourselves. We've got to change the way we do things. It's like when you sign up to be a member, you don't necessarily have to imbibe all of those values that might indeed lean towards austerity.
If you are a good follower, you should be able to look your leader in the face and tell him the gospel truth. Okay, the way you are doing about this thing is not right.
Okay, let me
bring
in Hassan from Lekki.
Deleteriously, it will affect all of us.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Good morning, Hassan.
Good morning, Malan Jaji.
Good morning, sir.
And good morning, Dr. Fassi Yusuf.
Thank you, sir.
You see, something is happening now. And it is high time we look at ourselves and tell ourselves the home truth. I said it earlier in one of your programs that the president should hit the ground running now and implement the developmental roadmap of Nigeria for Nigerians to see before 2019. Let us see the infrastructures on the ground. He should not bother himself about the distractions. I've said that. Number two, Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out yesterday to say that it was a myth that this issue of cabal, please, with due respect, I disagree with him. I respect him so much, but I disagree with him. And I don't want a situation whereby he will come back again on the same set and be telling us that there was a cabal. We have to look very well before we make a comment. People that suffered for APC, people that worked for APC, in which Chief Bola Tinubu was one of them. They were not really in charge. There is nothing wrong in Mr. President trusting some people. You may like some people, but not to the detriment of the party members that brought it into power. The wife of Mr. President made a statement about the cabals. Me, I disagree with her because that statement should not come from her. It should come from us. You understand? And we knew the kind of havoc wreaked on the economy of the country by the wife of the previous head of state, in which, if she is allowed to do that, she will do the same thing. That's number two. Number three.
How many? Malam, I think two will do. We get your general drift, and we thank you very much. Okay, of course. Everybody, you see, first now you, because of communications and all of that. You know, even when a person is communicating, first of all, there's the unspoken, and then there's the spoken. Then there's also the whole matter of reading between the lines. Now, Hassan is saying here that he respectfully disagrees with Ashwaju when he says that there is no such thing as a myth. I don't think that man is in any danger of being lonely. He's not in any danger of loneliness at all.
You see, what is happening at the federal level, especially the presidency, is that the president has not been able to take control of the ship of state.
Because of what?
I said he has not been able to take control.
What would prevent him from so doing?
It could be deliberate. Two, it could be his health disposition. Three, it could be being overwhelmed by the demands of that office. To the extent that some people that we have called a bunch of cabal have hijacked the administration. That it becomes so difficult for decisions to be taken. For example, look.
Yeah, that perception was out there. I don't know if can also be used. That is because, and here I'm talking about not citadels of learning. I'm talking about routine conversations, on the street conversations. Yes. You know, all of that. That is exactly the way it is perceived. How much fact there is to it is another matter.
Excuse me. Our president is the most protected president in the whole world.
How?
Because he does not speak to us. He does not speak to us. We don't really know his mindset. We don't know what is going on.
Unlike President Trump, for example, who will tweet you directly. He will even tweet you, so you know exactly where he is.
Any president, go to Ghana, you see president speaking all the time. And you know, there are spokesmen being able to tell us what is happening. Mm-hmm. But the spokespersons are not in a position to tell us what is happening.
Okay.
And the second time they told us that, look, they had information from a third party. To me, that is an aberration in public relations.
Okay, I got to bring Akin into this conversation. I'll come back and address this point. I think on the other hand,
good morning.
Good morning, Akin. Thank you very much for holding on. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Good morning to the guest, Dr. Faki and Daji.
Good morning, sir.
And to Oyori. On the matter of I quite agree with Dr. Faki on many of his points that he has elated here. The most important thing here is that you also need to understand that in this era of politicking, there's also maneuvering. Okay, so it's important when Ahmed Tinubu came out yesterday to tell us that there was cabal in in Aso Rock. We need to ask him, how can the person who is living in Ikoyi determine?
Okay, We lost Aki. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah.
You see, this is communication. This is language. We are all language users.
Exactly.
Metaphoric and literal meanings for the same statement. What I want to believe Asiwaju was saying was that there is no cabal in the presidency. That does not mean that cabal does not exist. But the buck stops on the table of the president. Cabal can exist if he allows it to exist. Cabal cannot exist if he doesn't allow them to exist. So it all boils down to the same thing. And that was why he even spoke about babysitting. Yoruba will tell you, tẹ́ bá fún yàn ní àgbò, ẹ ju okùn ẹ̀ lẹ̀, kó bá rí okùn yẹn fífa àgbò lọ síbi tán ti fẹ́ lò. That is the essence of the message. There is no cabal, I can't babysit him.
Yes.
If you...
Femi in Surulere, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Please go ahead now.
Hello, I want to congratulate you for bringing our Minister for Work.
Oh, thanks to the Minister.
And those are the things, and we want you to bring some other ones to let us know what is happening in the country.
Sure, Femi.
Number two, I want to talk about this issue of cabal or no cabal. I want to ask Bola Tinubu one question. Were those southern people leaders in the APC consulted before they appointed this Mr. Bose as our SFG? And that particular post is supposed to have been zoned to the south, not the southeast and south. Why is it not so? They come out and tell the president the right thing. If they don't tell the president the right thing, it will get to a stage when they will come home and they will be being stoned.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in, Femi. That one, I don't know if we can address that.
No, we can address it.
What do you think about...
Excuse me. The speaker is from the northeast. And now the SGF is also from the northeast. I mean, is that right? Is that politically, strategic to make such a decision? And again, your chief of staff is also from the northwest. The head of the kitchen cabinet is also from the northwest.
Who is so called?
Mama Daura.
Oh, okay. I see.
What's Mama Daura's post in the government?
Head of the kitchen cabinet.
No.
There is
you are suggesting that.
There is no official.
Officially, there is nothing like.
I was head of kitchen cabinet now.
Yeah, that's why he said. That's why he
kitchen
gave him what
cabinet.
he
The
gave
kitchen
him.
cabinet rating the
That's why he gave him
constitution.
what he gave him. Now,
So it shouldn't come into consideration.
So it shouldn't come into reckoning because we had a conversation in part yesterday.
Excuse me.
And people are saying, so
me.
what happens to qualification and efficiency?
It should not come into reckoning, but the reality on ground points to that direction. Let's not accept it.
Do you think we're actively
seeking? The point is, excuse me.
Do you think we can be guilty of actively seeking?
Excuse me. The Constitution
fault.
Excuse me. The Constitution does not recognize the office of chief of staff, but we know it's the most strategic and powerful office. You can see that anybody who needs to see the president must go through the chief of staff. Without the chief of staff, we cannot see the president.
Okay.
And look at the chief of staff staying by the new SGF yesterday. Yesterday, also 2 days ago, when Tinubu went there, the chief of staff was there. When
be that as it may,
gentlemen,
be that as it may, I don't know. Maybe it's because I've never been in that kind of high office before. If the president wants to see someone, no chief of staff can prevent that person from seeing the president. Abi?
Yori,
that's not the way it works.
The way it works.
Isn't the chief of staff at the pleasure of the president? I don't know.
You must have somebody that will act as a shield.
Now,
if that should be the case, what we are saying is that people are attaching primordial sentiments into what is going on. For God's sake, Buhari has been given a mandate as the president of this country for 4 years. Whether he does it right or does it wrong, at the end of the day, he will be held responsible.
Okay, so all these difficulties, all these difficulties you're talking about is probably what the meeting of yesterday, in part at least, was set up to sort of resolve.
I know for a
fact
that when Chief Awolowo was in charge of UPN or even NPN, there was party caucus. The kind of influence party chairman, you know, exerted as at that time is not being exerted now.
Talking about party chairman, you know, whatever the APC party chairman is in place. The decision is in place, and everything is good. Everything is good.
Everything is bad.
Everything is bad.
The decision
Alhaji Suba in Alimosho, good morning.
When last did the caucus meet?
Alhaji Suba, good morning. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Yori.
Go ahead, please.
Hello. Yes, Mr. Yori, good morning, and your guest.
Good morning.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Yori. Good morning, and your guest.
Good morning.
Yeah. You see, with due respect to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, I respect the brain of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed, because somebody is saying that, yes, I'm hearing you. Somebody is saying that Asiwaju does not, should say that there's a cabal. Asiwaju can never say that because he's an advanced person, very intelligent. So you understand? That's why I respect his personality. He knows what is happening. And let me tell you, there's a kind of an adage. Whoever that sold his people cheap, he will never see it buy in a costly manner. You see, the PMB, our president, has sold his party very cheap, right from beginning. And what do you expect? And so, it's like, that is why Asiwaju is telling them that, look, they should not ask him about what is happening about the election.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for calling in. That question also almost came up but didn't quite. It was all fake news after a fashion. Somebody just yelled from the back of the hall we're here, and they say that was just dismissed. That whole matter of motion to adopt the candidacy of Mr. President, that's not why we're here. It's irrelevant. We were here for one purpose. We've achieved that purpose. So there's no mileage in that.
No, those who did that, they are really in love with the party.
But let's go back.
Because we knew what this same issue caused.
Let's go back to the issue that you brought up, and that whole issue about communication. Yeah. That's where you got to be able to read between the lines. I think that is what every Nigerian is supposed to have, this sixth sense to really begin to understand what the meaning is. The political speak is going to be one thing. The English grammar sentence for report in newspapers is going to be another. Mr. Additioner, I believe. Did I get that right? Mr. Additioner, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to your guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Uncle Yori, you see, I want us to know that we are playing a very dangerous politics. We're talking about 2019. In between 2017 and 2019, we have 2018. And we have 4 years mandate for a president to run. Now we need to play down politics and face governance. Because that is the issue. When we start playing 2019 politics from now, I'm telling you, Uncle Yori, will be distracted from the governors of this country. Most of the governors, rather than facing the issue, what they have voted for, they will now be distracted and begin to play politics for 2019. That is one. Then, Uncle Yori, I want us to know that we need to differentiate between the essentials and non-essentials. One person cannot solve the problem of this country. It will take the effort of every Nigerian to make this country great. And that is why whether one person agrees there's cabal, there's no cabal, it's not essential. We want good governance. We need to join hands together and face this anti-corruption war. We need to join hands together and face good governance. We need to join together and ensure that this country be the best among communities of nations.
All right.
So we should play down politics and face good governance. In 4 years, the scorecard of the president will be scored. As you said, in a scale of 1 to 10, how can we rate the president? Is it 8, 9? Then we can vote for it. We vote for it for the second time.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Additioner. Appreciate your call. I'm going to rush off on a break now. Stay with us, please. We'll be right back. We'll continue with the conversation. Okay, welcome back. And well, our last caller, Mr. Additional, he thought that all of this, especially what's going on in the politics now, as it relates to APC, is about 2019.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. That's his point of view. And so he was saying, look, you need to de-emphasize this. Now, Fasi, there's also the matter of pragmatism. The government has to move ahead. Additional was speaking about scorecards, and this is how people shall be judged at the end of the day. And I guess you don't want a team behind you that has the Nigerian expression is a bent neck. You don't want any bending of neck. So whatever you can do to get everybody a bit more enthusiastic, you got to do as part of the cost. So that's not necessarily all about politics of 2019, is it?
To a large extent, it's about politics 2019. Okay. But if you ask me on a scale of 1 to 10, I would just be generous to give the present administration 5 over 10.
Yeah, good.
And that is not what we expect of a country that is supposed to be beyond
where we
are now. Because now, look at the greatest thing this party floated, anti-corruption. Now, there's a stalemate there, and
there's anti-corruption, there's the war against terror, there's coming out of a recession.
Even at that, you see, as an analyst, I'm beginning to wonder what is happening in the Northeast.
Okay, let me, sorry, sir. Let me bring in Toyin, who's called in from Ikorodu. Good morning. Toyin.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. Toyin is my name. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
Go ahead, please.
Don't waste time.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori. Yeah, thanks for the beautiful work you are doing. Yeah, I want to be part of this program. Yeah, really, our problem in this country is we are too sentiment. We put sentiment into everything we're doing. And that's why we are not moving forward.
What in particular did you have in mind?
So what we need to do is to give this government a chance to perform. We talk a lot. So that's just the problem. And yeah, what I have in mind is the people should give this government the opportunity to work, and then before the end of the program of the tenure, it should give them a scorecard. Then that's why people will move forward. But too much of English and that's just the problem.
I get you.
And politics to everything we're doing.
Thank you very much, Toyin. Really appreciate your call. Now, what Toyin is saying in there is try to put blinkers on and ignore all of this distraction because there's a lot of work to be done.
You see, the press that we call the fourth estate of the realm.
Because he's saying let them get on with it.
I know. The press is setting agenda.
Yes.
For the citizenry.
Yes.
It is what the press gives you that you debate upon. And this thing can be deliberately done. Well, as we are talking now, I just remember one professor of Leach University in Ibadan. I think Professor Olokun. Please let me finish with this.
Okay.
Professor Olokun spoke about integrity deficiency. When your what people are observing is different from what you are reporting. It gives room for the deficiency, integrity deficiency. That is exactly what is happening now.
Okay.
And I'm saying on my wall on Facebook, I showed a picture where a snake picked fish in a river, and the press now said this is a snake trying to prevent a fish from drowning. That is exactly what is happening in Nigeria now.
Okay, let me bring in
When
Toyin.
the press
I beg your pardon, not Toyin.
strong slant to negativity.
Okay. Stella in Obalende, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Yoris.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Good morning to your guest.
Good morning.
I want to quickly comment. I want to say one or two things.
Sure.
I'm not surprised Ahmed Tinubu spoke the way he responded when he was asked what he if there was cabal or not. I'm not surprised if because he's a politician. That's what we all expected. You see, even the president's spokesperson, Adesina, and the other northern man, you see how they...
Garuba Shehu.
Yes, Garuba Shehu. You see how they see, and I believe these people, by the time they are off cameras, they're in their closets, I know they weep. I know they weep. You can see it in their faces. I'm not even surprised if the man on the Mr. Ment, the one on the cab there,
Malam
he's a politician, like he said, a practicing politician. I'm not surprised if he's talking like that. But let's just face the truth and let's face reality. We are seeing what is happening on a daily basis. We are seeing it. Do you know, we were so fed up with the past administration. We were so fed up. Everybody was so fed up with the way things were going. Monies were flying up right and center. But this government came, they were projecting hope. They were telling us all they could not do. They said they would do this. They even went and started telling us, and that was why I queued on that very day and I voted. They said they were going to bring fuel. In fact, the day I heard that, I was so excited when I heard them on the campaign telling us they were going to bring fuel to 50, as low as 50 naira. They were going to do this. They were going to... In fact, for the issue of corruption, if you see the way Nigeria, it is so heavy in our heart. We want to see somebody that will really come out and fight it like a bull. Fight corruption irrespective of who that person is. But we are not seeing any of this. We are not seeing any of this.
All right, then.
And you are telling us there's no cabal. He is a politician.
Thank you very much, Stella from Abalende. Thank you very much. You see, this is part of what this program does. We take in all shades of opinion, and so that's Stella's perspective.
It's my turn now.
That's Stella's perspective.
Maybe I will request for special time.
I don't know whether
you pay for that. You are going to go for special time. You have to pay for that.
Stella is also aware, no doubt, of all the challenges, but she's saying that we see what's going on. She feels that what was promised, she hasn't been delivered yet.
Yes,
that's Stella in brief.
Yes,
and it can still be delivered.
And I want to associate with her.
Yes,
it can still be delivered.
But here we are at half.
It can still be delivered.
More than half of the term is gone.
We're at half term.
More than half of the term is gone.
And there is stuff to build on, arguably.
Excuse me.
There is stuff to build on, arguably.
We are in November now.
Sure.
Within the next 15 months, the election will be conducted. Within the next 15 months. But the point is, what have we achieved? Even the anti-corruption we are talking about, the man has been cowed.
Well,
excuse me. Remember on this program, I've said this. How was it possible? How do we get to this level where the president will send a name to the Senate for confirmation, and another agency of government will be countering that decision of the president? One would have thought that before that name was sent to the Senate, it would have been cleared with the State Security Service. And not that the National Assembly will be requesting for a security report on that particular candidate. Normally, if a name is being sent to the Assembly, either national or state, for clearance or for consideration, there will be a security report on that person. Not that.
So why is all of this going on? But to say that the president is cowed.
I'm saying what's the name of this man there? The head of the acting chairman of EFCC. Magu.
Oh, Magu.
Yes.
You think he's been cowed.
Yes.
But the man has swung back into action. He has swung into action according to
what is happening there?
They have told them, go ahead.
Excuse me.
Sorry,
there's always trouble between him and the...
Nayi, go ahead, please.
Hello, good morning,
Minister of Justice.
I would like to come in this way that what came out of APC's NEC meeting. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. I want to say that what came out of APC's meeting yesterday was much of a disappointment to some of us, because I discovered that what they're giving us, they're telling us that they're going to appoint new ministers when they have less than a year, 6 months to go. They're giving us like an automatic ticket for Buhari when we are
No,
yet
that matter didn't come up. Nayi, that matter, strategically,
no,
that matter didn't come up.
I know, but somebody raised that, just that they didn't approve it. They said the governors wanted to. So what I'm saying is that I've said it before, and I want to repeat it, that APC, as it were never ready for ruling. They were just ready being opposition. So they are yet to come to terms with realities that they are the ruling party. They didn't put their acts in order to give us what they said they were going to give us.
But
it is high time to go back.
But do you think, Nayi,
yes, sir.
Do you think that well, this meeting can be of yesterday some sort of a reset mode? No. Do you think it can work like that?
I think they would have done more if they were meeting more frequently. This meeting, as it were, was just to bring out an agenda that didn't work out, as far as some of us are concerned. If they were meeting more frequent as a ruling party, they would have been able to know the pulse of the nation and be able to deliberate on things that will make us move forward. Like the man talking before I came on, the issue of Magu was much of a disappointment, and I've called on this station to say my disappointment to the way things were working within the APC. It is high time they got to know that they are the ruling party, not the opposition. God bless us, and may we have a focus in Nigeria to be able to move as the nation that have gained 57 years as independence.
Thank you very much, Nayi.
Please, let me. You see, lawyers will tell you, and I'm glad Dr. Fashi is a lawyer. The lawyers will tell you you cannot approbate and reprobate at the same time. It's not possible. It's possible, but it's not allowed. Now, what we are saying is, the way Nigerians want these things done, it cannot be. It's not achievable. Excuse me. It's not achievable in the sense. So what do you tell us? We now say there is what we call democratic irritation.
If it is not achievable, why did you sign up with such a party?
No, wait.
No, why did you sign up with such a party?
You are putting words into my mouth, and I won't take it. What I'm saying in essence,
are you quarreling with him?
No, we are not quarreling.
We can't quarrel.
What we are saying in essence is that you cannot reprobate and approbate at the same time. You want service delivery.
They're saying this in relation to which point?
Into the government is delivering or not delivering.
Okay.
You want service delivery, and you want the government...
Like the disappointment that Nayi feels?
Yes.
Okay.
We cannot achieve anything with this kind of the set of laws we have. When we came at first, I said there must be special courts to try, looters, allegedly or otherwise. They said, no, there are enough laws in our statute books to treat them. Up till today, no one has been,
I hear you. But
that is why Dr. Fashi will now tell you that the anti-corruption fight is not.
Excuse me.
It's not why.
No, it cannot be. It is to say
it's democracy. They will tell you. Go to the courts.
Okay.
Excuse me. Whose responsibility it is to steer the ship of the nation?
Yeah. That's
the president that is now being dictated to.
Who's dictating to the president?
That's the president.
People like you now.
People like me.
Yes.
It's the president who is running affairs.
Yeah, worry.
And the way this ship is sort of, the course has been set now, is that now all those choppy waters, calmer waters ahead. That is,
we have centrifugal forces. Because we have within the party itself.
This is my
acting as opposition.
This is my problem with the
government.
Professional politicians.
You have come onto his lane. You have come onto his lane. You people should maintain separate lanes.
Yes.
You.
This is a problem with professional politicians. You made a promise. Yeah. Did anybody force you to make a promise?
Nobody.
If you are not delivering on the promise, for God's sake, why don't you apologize to Nigerians and tell us we are sorry? We will not be able to perform.
And that is exactly what was done yesterday.
I don't know. That's your story.
Things are not going the way expected. Things are not going the way we promised.
It's not gentlemen, whether you accept them or not.
You cannot tell me that this government has not achieved anything.
Thank you.
I said that. That's why I gave you 5.
5, you are very, very generous. But if
the
centrifugal forces within the party, don't let us say they don't exist.
They are your people now. They are your people now.
They are NPDP. We hear you.
Well, you guys, maybe let Andrew come in on this conversation. Good morning, Andrew.
Good morning.
Andrew in the UK. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, Mr. Yori, and your guest.
Thank you.
The issue here is that well done for the program, but I'm a bit thought that we are very, very impatient in Nigeria. We have a government that PDP who ran for 16 years, and you only have a government for 2 years, and they are all making all this noise. The Rome was not built in a day. They have to give it time. You know, the man is laying the foundation of what is to come in the future, not now. You've got to prepare the foundation. In the UK, we have a Labour government that was there for so many years. Conservatives have been there from 2010. They still haven't returned to repair everything that was done, the thing that happened during the Labour government. They are still working on it. So Rome was not built in a day. They've got to give them opportunity to actually take their time and do what they have to do. People are very, very impatient. They think Rome was built in a day, and that is impossible. Thank you.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Andrew from the UK. You see, we go back to the whole point about different strokes for different folks, different styles.
My day has been made by Andrew.
Exactly. Because we are the same people,
we
perhaps.
must not lose sight of that fact.
We are the same people that if the president was doing as people seem to want, they say the man is too impulsive, knee-jerk reaction.
He's dictatorial.
And as he has, this is his own style. He said, well, somebody said yesterday, Baba, go slow.
The point is this: we're talking. We can only benchmark his performance. But I'm not concerned.
But they are very happy with the rate of progress.
That is the party,
yes,
including Malam Jaji.
Yes.
But the point to be made is this: there's so many things promised. For example, why did the party tell us
but the Rome was not built in a day.
About the pump price. Okay, so
that will take. This gentleman has just said that perhaps you don't agree that we tend to be an impatient.
Excuse me.
A bit
talking
impatient.
About the pump price.
Sorry, we're not buying for a liter of petrol for 400 naira in this country.
That's a point to address.
Black market. What brought about the
Let me go back to the UK. Matthew in the UK. Good morning. I think I just lost you. Sorry about that, Matthew.
What brought about black market?
Get back in
again.
Do we
have black market today? Do we have black market today?
Look, is it going to take 20 years or 10 years to complete the Lagos-Ibadan highway? The resurfacing. For the contractors now, they abandoned the site. Nothing is moving there.
What did the National Assembly do? What did the National Assembly do to the budget of Lagos Ibadan?
That's your party now. Your party is
a gentleman. Fortunately, we had the Minister of Works here the other day.
So I expected Dr. Fassi to ask me, what do I mean by centrifugal forces?
These guys are old, what, over $1 billion.
Yes.
Dollars.
Yes.
You know. So are they supposed to keep on working? So they're working all of this out. The matter is a work in progress. I understand that they've reached some sort of an understanding.
The problem is that this administration.
Do you think we're finding fault?
Pathologically,
we're finding fault.
Patently lethargic.
So we're finding fault.
We're finding fault. I'm trying to ginger them.
Who's on the line?
So that people like Malam Jaji will go to Asorok to tell them.
Mr. Adebayo in Surulere, good morning.
Yes, good morning. And my name is Adebayo. I'd like to contribute to the discussion this morning.
That's why
here we are talking of the APC. We had a PDP for 16 years. Everything ran aground. Everything ran aground. We are in so much debt. Now this man just came in. They are calling him Baba Go Slow. Let him do Baba Go Slow and let us have food on the table. At least the farming has continued now seriously. I'm into fishing. I'm in Lagos here, but I'm fishing in Bayelsa. I have gone to apply for loan, and I know the procedure, how it's going. The former government never gave us all this chance. They were just squandering the whole money. There's any money, everything fucked up that stuff right now. It's not good. Let us leave this man for another 8 years. I beg you.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo. Now, you see, that point that is being made
nobody
there,
has said,
that point that is being made
I've
there.
not said nothing good has come out of this administration.
Yes, but this administration has only gone 2 years.
5%.
And people are making the comparison.
50%.
It's a pass mark.
You are very, very good.
Yes,
given the present circumstance in which we are. I made allusion to a situation where we were buying fuel for a litre for 400
black
naira.
Market now.
What brought about the black market?
Corruption.
We should,
we
should look at the consecutive
there actually
factors.
might be a good side to all of this. Can it be that Nigerians really thought that team, led by President Muhammadu Buhari, it's such a fine team that they would have expected more by way of performance from them. But then they themselves have been communicating what the challenges are. They say that, look, they know what their roadmap is. They are satisfied, they are happy with the rate of progress, and it's going to get a lot better, a lot more is going to come a lot sooner from all of the work and this whole analogy between lean meat and needing to put a little fat on. Now we have a little fat, so we can put a little fat on, then we're going to make much, much more progress.
But have you considered the negative aspect of adding beef or meat?
They are not going to add fat anyhow. Yeah. This administration will not add fat anyhow.
Excuse me. If you are going to tinker with the present composition of the Federal Executive Council, some people have to go. Some people have to.
So be it.
So
political musical chairs.
We are talking of administrative restructuring.
Those coming in, we have to take their time to be able to plan.
They don't need to take their time.
Okay. Meanwhile, let me bring in Mohammed in Jigawa. Good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you for calling, sir.
I want to contribute to what you are discussing.
We'd like you to. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Uncle Yori, I lived and studied in Maiduguri. I graduated in 2014, and I know what we went through. And I know the kind of problems. In fact, sometimes I'm reading for exams, I will start hearing gunshots and everything. So all the people in Maiduguri now, and though I'm working now in Jigawa, I'm permanently working now, moved in, everything to Jigawa, but I know the kind of problem. When I went back to Maiduguri recently, the way I see it, the progress I saw in terms of security and some other things that I left Maiduguri before. In fact, the change is very, very clear. Everything is seen, and I don't know. We can't compare. Uncle Yori, comparing a 16-year rule to just a 2.5-year rule.
It doesn't make sense.
PDP have just finished this country. I don't think we need PDP back. Bringing PDP back is like, what are we Nigerians thinking about?
Nigerians. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Thank you very, very much, Mohammed. This is the point that I'm saying, that these are some of the things that the APC said they needed to get themselves together, to remind themselves about, and keep their eye on the ball.
And
not be distracted.
Smelling the coffee too. Now, what we are saying
we've run out of time. We've run out of time. But could you say it in just 10 seconds, 15 seconds?
What we are saying now is that it is very, very easy to destroy, but not very, very easy to build. And you see, look at this 10, 15 seconds.
Look
at this now.
Yes.
Is this the most important thing for a newspaper to carry?
Okay.
And all the newspapers, they are of the same thing. So we should examine what is happening.
Why are you carrying my props now? Why are you carrying my props?
No, I just use it for emphasis.
It's not on trial.
2019 APC governor, all the papers. Something must be wrong. Something must be wrong in that area. We need to.
Firstly, it looks like the ruling party, the president has decided to relent, and that now let's talk about. There's the Nigerian aspect. I will take a bit of that on. People might call it unnecessarily larger government.
Has the potential to perform.
God bless you.
But exactly. The point is, there's need for strategic management, strategic communication.
That's the process that I imagine they sort of jump-started again.
Yes, I hope it will be sustained.
It will.
Thank you very much, Chief Dr. Fasi Yusuf, lawyer and communications consultant, and Malam Ahmed Moyosore Jaji, political affairs analyst. And he has been called this morning a professional politician as well, by Fasi. That's our program. Join us tomorrow, please, for a fresh edition. And then it'll be Femi Akonde that will be in the chair here. And then, God willing, I'll be back on Friday. Bye-bye for now.